should you always be PRing? Or is it okay to have times of year where you can't maximally express a given quality? Okay, so I think this is a misunderstanding that we have as people kind of progress through their careers, is that when you're a relative beginner, you're going to hit PRs pretty constantly, almost no matter what you do. And you're just going to be kind of week over week, pretty linear progression for a certain period of time. You're going to see it across the board, whether it's throwing velocity, strength, speed, whatever it might be. But as we get better and better, that's going to slow down. And it's going to be for a couple of reasons. But one of the things that we want to think about is, are we expressing fitness or are we building fitness, right? So as we train, we kind of have these two disparate qualities that are being built / accumulated together, right? Fitness and fatigue. So as we train hard and with enough volume to kind of actually knock people out of homeostasis, what's happening is not only are we getting more fit, but we're accumulating fatigue. So we can't always maximally express a given fitness quality. And that's okay. We need times of the year when we're doing this, okay? If we're always maximally ready to perform, we're not actually creating enough stress that we're gonna get as much better as we possibly could. The other piece to this is we're not gonna be maximally prepared for what the likely volumes and kind of demands are going to be when we get to the season, whether that's fall practices, games during the season, whatever it might be. If we don't create, a given amount of kind of fitness that we can go back to later in the season when our volumes need to be lower so we can maximally express this fitness quality, we don't really have anything to taper from, and we're not going to be able to maximally peak, right? So I think one of the things that we're doing a little bit differently this offseason we have in years past is we're pushing a slightly higher volume, slightly more aggressive kind of approach a little bit longer into the offseason, and we'll start to kind of diminish that fatigue a little bit later, so that guys are a little bit more prepared when they get to kind of all of the conditioning, or at least kind of on foot time there's going to be when we get to practices in the fall, and that we have a little bit more of a well to go to when we get to that point. What this means though is we have to be aware of what we're doing and understand that there aren't going to be necessarily PRs every single week for everybody, especially at the more advanced level. So I think that's kind of an important thing to understand. Are we building fitness or are we expressing fitness? Because they're not necessarily the same thing as you progress.